You're watching The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales.
Are you a comic creator? Are you a publisher? Do you make a comic book product? Do you own a retail store? Do you do something I haven't thought of? Who are you and what do you do? Let us know by advertising on The Experience and invite our viewers to patronize your product. Message the EXP on social media or email us the_EXP@yahoo.com for more details.
Hey, it must be Wednesday.
What's up, everybody?
What's up, Alec? How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing today?
What is in that coffee, sir? You almost tipped over. All right, so we got John Spilios in the house. I saw Jeff Wedding. I saw Josh Went.
So
Ron, what's going on, buddy? We're Rupenstein's in the house. Hey, welcome everybody.
Happy New Comic Book Day.
Happy New Comic Book Day.
We had the drop of Obi-Wan episode 4 today. We had the drop of Ms. Marvel.
I am so behind.
Episode 1 today. Today was sort of.
I need to catch up. I haven't seen Preston in the house. Cool Gamer, what's going on, buddy? I have not seen The Boys season 3 yet. I haven't
watched.
You can watch it until Nick gets work. I'm working, man. This is Dynamite.
All right. Tomorrow morning when I come to the office, I'll start to stream it on my computer. All right. And I'll say, John said I could do it.
You know what? You should do that just to see the look on his face. He'd be like, what? I have this email from John to watch this.
What else haven't I watched? I haven't watched Ms. Marvel.
Nick,
I
when I tell everybody
Obi-Wan.
to watch The Boys, I mean everybody.
Yo, even I just watched Ms. Marvel, so I'm getting there. I'm catching up on things.
I've heard from people. I heard from a friend that is definitely geared towards kids. Would you say that?
I'm not gonna lie. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it.
He said he liked it, but he said.
By our standard, it's kids. But when Alex H hears kids, he thinks of little kids. When a guy my age says kids, I think of people in high school. It's geared for people in high school.
Don't you mean college?
I can agree with that.
Anyone under 40, yeah, here, kid. I'll talk to you later. No, but seriously, you know what I mean? I'm super careful because one of the people who moderates one of the Facebook groups are like, oh, it's a kid's show. And I'm like, dude, you're 31. You know, this girl is like 17. That's not like a kid or 15 or whatever. That's not a kid. A kid is like Power Pack. Like toddlers running around. It's
all
like
right, but it is geared toward a youth market. Then
absolutely.
Okay.
And they even said that. They said, everybody's like, oh, there's an agenda here. Yes, there is. They're trying to drag in more women. They're trying to drag in more a younger generation, younger demographic. They're trying to drag in a wider demographic. People, the usual lunatics were on the social media asylum today talking about, oh, it's so obvious they made her Muslim. Yes, they're making everybody gets a show. That's how Disney works. We've had Asian shows, we've had African American shows, we've had all the shows. Everyone, they're going to go down the whole list. If anybody has a problem with that, cancel the subscription service now.
Or don't watch the show.
Or don't watch the show.
That to me is always the most amazing thing. You know, we all talk about freedom. You don't have to watch. Nobody's making you watch.
I can't think of her name off the top of my head, but the girl who plays Miss Marvel did such a good job.
So the acting.
She really did.
She
Yeah,
really
because
did.
She was
great.
phenomenal.
So we see what good acting can do. I mean, Moon Knight, okay? Oscar Isaac.
The truth is, we've
Yeah,
talked
I
about
mean-
this. Without Oscar Isaac, I don't know where Moon Knight is.
I
You know
would
what I
agree
mean?
with
I
that,
think
yes.
Moon Knight is more on the Morbius side than, like the Avengers Endgame
But
side.
I was so
perhaps.
engaged by Oscar Isaac and stuff. Let's see. So
Now,
Stevie B says, put it this way, won't be offering it.
It's the truth, man. It's
now, what I will say is this might be an unpopular opinion, but I think that was actually probably one of my favorite first episodes from Marvel for like a Marvel show. I really enjoyed that. I didn't like Moon Knight. I thought Captain Winter Soldier or whatever that was, Captain America Falcon or whatever, I thought that was okay. What If was cool. I mean, that's What If though. WandaVision, pretty cool too. But I don't know. I think Miss Marvel might be my favorite first episode. It was good.
It was very good. I love the way they sort of almost mimicked what they do in the comics with all the weird, grainy and sketches.
And I love
right?
the comics.
They used animation to simulate. You know how? Let's be honest. There's a difference between Marvel Comics and the MCU for a variety of reasons. Most people can reconcile themselves with that because even though they take a different way to get there,
Right.
you still kind of get to that point. We've still kind of gotten to like the major points. Like we got Secret Invasion coming up.
Right.
There'll be a bunch of differences. Eventually, there's going to be Skrulls running around. You know what I mean? So you kind of know. They took a much more direct route, in my opinion. They looked at Miss Marvel, especially those first, I'll say the first run, the first extended run, and they went, this is what we want. How do we have to do it? So they brought in extra graphics people, extra animation, whatever. Of course, they found their girl. They found their Miss Marvel. They were super fortunate.
Well, here's the problem. Looks like I printed the wrong sheet. Hey, Amy.
I know he calls Amy for the rescue.
That'll do it.
Amy,
We had the Black
she's
Adam.
not out there.
Do you mind?
Show's over. I have the wrong sheet.
Do you mind him doing the show, sir?
What? No, you're doing your stand-up act. Jay Burns, I feel better tonight, but you never know. It's a long show.
It's a long show.
Matthew, thanks for joining us. Josh,
I was just about to say that.
See, hey, they're a marketing company first and foremost. All right.
We had the Black Adam preview today.
Oh, did we?
We had the Black
I
Adam, the
missed
first
that.
trailer. I'm sorry, the first trailer for Black Adam.
Any comics say what's going on,
And I
buddy?
got to tell you, I mean, based on what I saw,
I heard it looks
If you-
awesome.
if you make a movie with The Rock and that much money
Right.
and it's not good, that's on you. Because that guy, no pun intended, brings it.
All right. Preston, there is a statue tonight, my friend. All right. So John and Alex are going to go talk.
Wrong
and I'm
sheet.
gonna-
Everything is
I'm gonna bring,
$9.99.
yeah, this was Monday sheet. I'm looking at it like, well, this looks kind of
I
familiar.
think I saw Amy go that way. I think, is this your sheet there? Yeah. Everything is $9.99. No. But yeah, that trailer was. It had. I'll tell you, the trailer had a little bit of an Aquaman look to it. And
Okay.
I was like, the DC did a really good job with Aquaman of creating a believable subculture in Atlantis, right? And it looks like they're kind of doing it again, trying to. And I'll say I'll have to see, but they're almost doing the same or better job of recapturing, like ancient Egypt than we just had with Moon Knight, right? I mean, of course, the scale is very different, but I think Black Adam's going to surprise people the same way I think Aquaman surprised people, right? I think people didn't expect a whole lot from Aquaman, and it hit, and
No.
people were like, "This is amazing." And I think we're going to have the same thing with Black Adam. We really do.
I hope we do. I really like The Rock. So
The line where they're like, "Heroes don't kill," and he's like, "I do." You know, they're letting you know right away, you know, this is not Shazam. You know, this is not your typical sort of happy, shiny DC character.
You know, we might see a nice little shift with DC to, I'm not saying they're going to take over or anything, but the Marvel movies, the Marvel shows, they're not landing with me. I'm talking to a lot of people, even the people I work with at the shop. I don't think anyone there has liked any of the Marvel TV shows. They didn't like Doctor Strange. And, I mean, Miss Marvel, that I know that's not going to hit with a lot of people, but I really am a big fan of the comics for her.
It's really
And-
good. People who you know what, if you don't like any of the stuff, that's fine. If you go into these shows, particularly Miss Marvel, with some kind of chip on your shoulder, do me a favor. Don't, you know what I mean? I told people on social media, unfollow me. Don't tag me into these horrible rants about, you know, when I was a kid. Well, you know what, man? when I was a kid, comics were like 25 cents. So you know what I mean?
Too.
Things change. The world is different. Oh, and that's Josh too. One of the things that I think is going to be key for Black Adam is they got Pierce Brosnan to play Dr. Fate.
That's cool. I didn't know Pierce Brosnan was going to be in it.
Sort of a very. I think that's Dr. Fate is a character that I think can. Dr. Fate. I'll actually say this, and this might be popular. Dr. Fate can help the DC movie universe more than Doctor Strange helps the MCU, because the MCU was already sort of taken off before we got to Doctor Strange. The DC Marvel movie universe is kind of all over the place. The DCU is like, you know what I mean? There's Snyder, there's non-Snyder. I think Pierce Brosnan as Dr. Fate can sort of, you know what I mean, help them out a little bit.
Yes, Jay, it's time for Rex's recap.
Alex and I have talked about movies for 10 minutes.
All right, you know what? We're gonna do the best offer items real quick. Preston has been waiting for this, so we have a Woman of Dynamite Vampirella statue, black and white diamond eye edition. I think it is limited. I want to say 49. The box is not actually in here, but I believe it's even number 40. No, that's not right.
I was gonna say that's not the box.
It is suggested retail of $299.99. It is a best offer statue tonight, starting at $69 for the year Vampirella.
Nice.
1969. These statues are so cool. They really are. I love when they have like the black and white. We've talked about this before.
Well, it really works for Vampirella.
It works for Vampirella. And I'll tell you who else it worked for. It really worked for Betty Page. Because, especially guys our age, the first pictures we saw of Betty Page were in black and white.
All right, so Stevie B has a funny comment. What's taking Rex so long? Long line in the mimeograph machine. Okay, so Alex may not understand, but Stevie B, the handle where you turn was a little stuck, so I had to re-oil it. I had to re-oil that lever.
Next week,
all right, so Dwayne's a Pain is in at 75 on the statue. Gotcha, buddy.
And depending on how high this goes, Rex talks about this all the time. We'll cut this off. We don't want this thing going over.
Yeah, I you know what? On this best offer, the cap is $299.99.
Yeah.
Okay, which is the suggested retail. All right. So Preston is in for 80. Okay, buddy.
This thing is. So I want to. We've all been there in rooms where you're watching people pay more than retail. And I'm not saying that you have to hold somebody's hand, but we've all seen it before. We've all talked to somebody who said, "I bought this book for this price," and maybe you said, maybe you didn't. Dude, you paid 60 over eBay's price, which is, you know what I mean?
Right. All right. So Marcus, I believe, is older or just went and Googled it. He says Ditto Machine.
Ditto Machine, yeah.
All right. And we all know what CC stands for, right?
Carbon copy.
Of course. But there's no carbon.
Yeah. Once upon a time, you used to have carbon and you do the Ditto sheets and it would
get all over your fingers.
The best thing I remember is purple fingers and the smell.
Yes.
There was like, man, you knew when they would try to give you a surprise quiz, but if you smell that smell from the Ditto Machine, you knew there was a quiz. People turn around and walk right back out of class like, no, I'll just take the 0.
So let's go to the next best offer item. It is Deceased #1, signed by Greg Capullo. It is number...
Deceased.
It is number 8 of 240. 240 signed. It is number 8, and it is a best offer book starting at $19.38, the year that DC Universe launched. Let's see, and that is a best offer book of the night as well.
It's actually a really good read too.
It is a good read, and this is an example. I use this book as an example of maybe DC should pump the brakes a little bit going from event to event, because this is really good. And my concern is it will get lost in like the never-ending series of they rocket from one, like there's no normal in the DC universe. Literally, they go from one existence-ending event to another. And I think
that's how it feels at this point, yeah.
That's how, like, and again, not to so much play the age card, but when Crisis first hit, you were like, this is massive. And like, you kind of geared around going to the comic book store and getting your stuff, and it's comic book day, like you didn't care, you'd call out of work to get the next issue of Crisis on Infinite Earths. Now people are just like, yeah, DC Universe in danger again. You know, it's zombies, it's machines, it's zombie machines, it's OMAC. Oh, Batman messed up. Sorry, somebody from a dark under alternate parallel universe. And I think something like this, which is really good read, gets lost in that shuffle a little bit. I've heard a couple people say, and Alec, I don't know if you've heard this, people like Dark Crisis, and they're like, okay, you know what I mean? Like they need like a sigh. Right. Like we've talked about this before. It's too much Spider-Man, too much Batman, too much. You know, what I mean? It's okay to just tell a story, like Court of Owls. Yeah, sure. Nobody thought the universe was coming to an end, but it was a good, well-crafted story, some twists, some surprises, start, middle, and end. It seems like both majors, particularly DC, just has a problem doing that. Right. It really does. Like, you know, you get one Superman story, and then, next month Superman has to close a hole in reality, or all of universe pays the price. Watch the next 74 books, and then come back for the next issue. And I'm like,
I was gonna say, while there's an ongoing on there too, you know, it's got Superman's got his own little event happening while there's an ongoing happening that has nothing to do with it. Yeah,
he's got to take away from his 97th Zod incursion from the Phantom Zone or whatever to jump into this other thing. And then when he gets back, and I'm just like, I understand this is a business, right? And I understand from their perspective there's a market, but from people, everyone from like the retailer type side, people from the podcast side, people from the streamer side, they see the weariness, they see the fatigue. You know what I mean? Like when the world is constantly in danger, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you become desensitized.
Desensitized to it, and I think Marvel is probably a little bit more adept at pumping the brakes and scaling their stories back. It seems like they're a little bit more dialed into that. Like, you know, DC is like, oh, here's the next big event. And I'm like, there's always a next big event.
Right.
I think the one thing that's been bothering me too about a lot of books, and I'm hoping someone actually read these books today too, so someone can agree or disagree. But one problem I've been having with Marvel is that there's basically no continuity anymore. I mean, there is maybe here and there, but it's nothing, you know, crazy at all. But today, Thor 26 came out, and then the new series of, was it Jane Foster and the Mighty Thor? It's a brand new miniseries came out.
Oh, yeah, that came out today, right?
Yeah, so 2 Thors came out today, and, you know, you're realistically looking at the Jane Foster Mighty Thor series like, okay, it's a 5-issue miniseries. It's probably to get people hyped up for the movie. It is what it is. They hit on something towards the end of the issue that actually is happening in the current ongoing Thor run. And I really appreciated that. I was like, wow, they're actually taking stuff that's happening in this and bringing it to this. But they kind of half-assed it. They took what was going on and then they completely did something else that doesn't involve what's really happening. So they just kind of, you know, like, why even bother at that point? Why include it if it's not actually correct?
Joel, thanks for joining us, buddy.
I've said this all the time, though. It's like being a chef to a certain extent. You have a bunch of cooks in the kitchen and you want them to create something new and they come up with some really cool stuff. Sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, man, pump the brakes a little bit. I tell you who I blame more than the creators. And I understand people find the creators on social media, you know, they blast them on Twitter. You should be finding those editors and saying, hey, look, you're in charge. You're getting paid to not have chaos, continuity errors, narrative disconnect where nothing makes any sense or whatever. I saw a comment where, and I can't remember who it was, one of the DC editors was like, if it's easier for you as a fan, think of everything as Elseworlds. Really? So you don't want to have any DC universe. You don't want to have Earth 1. You just want every single thing I pick up to be, you know, an else. And this is coming from someone who loves Elseworlds. I love What If. But you still need to have, you know, like, here's like your 616, your Earth 1, and then these other things make sense.
Right. Okay. All right. Let's get to our next best offer book. Ron, actually, Nick has been dealing with that, so I don't know, and I'm not sure if Nick is watching at the moment. But Ron, shoot me an email, and I will follow up on that for you, buddy. All right, so next best offer item is Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight #1, signed by Scott Schneider. Suggested retail of $69.99. It is number 7 of 40 signed in silver, and is a best offer book starting at $27. And again, number 7 out of only 40 signed. So that is, I believe, our final best offer. Let me double check because I got it wrong the other.
It seems like we have a lot of books, but
we do,
but not
sort
a lot of best offers.
Not a lot of best offers. It doesn't look like.
All right, well,
So all right, so there you go.
we're probably spoiling them too much anyway.
Oh my gosh. So all right, so I missed the conversation on the movie, so and TV show. So
Where was Amy? Was she trying to escape again? She's trying to get the escape action.
I think she finally made the clean escape.
No, we were just talking a little bit about Black Adam and how that sort of has a real. I think that has some real potential there. I think, and
I can't
Alec
believe I
brought up
missed the trailer today.
Alec brought up this great.
I didn't
point.
watch it.
I think Marvel is in danger, and this is a pro wrestling reference, so I'm sorry for the people who don't watch. But this is almost like a WWE, WCW situation where the competition is good. When you have no competition, you know, like DC has to be constantly challenging Marvel in the marketplace. If they don't, can we help you, sir?
Yeah,
Ronald has a question about his.
this is James Tinian.
Which one is it?
Batman Who Laughs?
Hold on, let me see.
Yes, I think
Oh
so.
yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is he now here in the office?
By the way, everybody, if you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up. All right. Share. Please let your friends know. And sign up for notifications. And we love you all.
All right, so the Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight #1 is actually James Tinian IV, not Scott Schneider. That was probably a typo, but it is still the best offer book starting at $27 and number 7 of 40. And I think somebody mentioned it, but I just want to point out, I think it was, hold on. It was, let me see. Somebody had mentioned it, but it came out, the script came out funny when they wrote it. It was weird. Burn After Reading.
That's Tinian's signature.
Yeah, now I at first I thought it was a Russian spammer because it had all those.
I thought it was.
So Burn After Reading, thanks for joining us. Thanks for pointing out the error. And just to let you know, you're coming across a little weird in the chats.
Yeah, I think that's by design. That's what the cool kids do now.
Oh well, we're definitely not kids on
Yeah,
course,
we're not. No.
so that's not going to be a problem. Let's see.
Stevie B, trust me, no statue falls out of the trunk of my car.
Yeah.
The statue goes home with me. It is black hole. You do not see that again unless you
couldn't rip it from John's
unless
dead
you
fingers.
come to my house, man.
Are you kidding? All right, so let's see. In celebration of the release of Miss Marvel, we have Champions #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive variant cover by superstar artist John Cassaday. Let's see. We originally released it with a suggested retail of $29.99.
That's crazy,
and we have one available in there. We have two versions. We have the regular color version, and we have it available for $20.16 the year the comic was in stores. And we have actually multiple copies of this if more than one person wants to claim it. And then we also have Champions #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive black and white variant cover by John Cassaday. That had a suggested retail of $39.99, and it is $20. And we have multiple copies available if more than one person wants it for $20.16. All right, so we got those two out there. But
that's a real nice job. That's a real nice job with the, like the, I guess, homage or whatever you want to call it to the original Champions #1.
So that is available tonight. And again, we have multiple copies. I think we have at least 5. If there's enough people interested in it, I need to find out if there's more. I can certainly do that. But I know that we have at least 5 of each. All right, for anybody that's interested. So also interested in what the viewers thought of the premiere of Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I'm wondering, do we have people? See, the problem here is I don't know.
Not everybody gets up at 4:16 or earlier than that.
Not only that, but I mean, we have like a lot of West Coast people, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, like a West Coast person, it
started at midnight for them.
It's 3:30. You know what I wait? I absolutely wait for, my wife is like, oh, doesn't it come on at midnight? I'm like, no, this comes on at midnight Pacific Standard Time.
Right.
So that means
so John gets up at 3. Well, today you were a little late because you were messing with your new.
I was up at a little bit after 3, but I had to put the espresso machine together.
Correct. So he had to buy himself a new espresso machine because he can't go out to the coffee shops anymore. First of all, it's 3 o'clock in the morning.
You know what? At first, I did go out, and when I first started doing this, I'd go out, let the dog out, run a while real quick, come back. It just, you know what?
Yeah, I know. It's all
no,
putting on
but
shoes
when
and
you
stuff.
get to Wawa at 3:30 in the morning, they're cleaning. Like any business that's open 24 hours, they're
Right.
cleaning. To watch the girl have to take out her cleaning gloves, do this, do that, dry everything, go back. There's never coffee made, so Wawa makes you make. If I walk in there, this is their policy. If I walk in there and say I want a fresh cup of dark roast, she has to stop what she's doing and make the coffee. So it's easier for me to just get an espresso machine and bill it to Nick. Hi, Nick.
Stevie B, actually, somehow it fell into John's trunk. We had to get it back out. At the break, he's giving me the
But
keys
there
to
was
his
some
trunk.
invisible force holding it in the trunk. So there were 6 of us trying to wrestle it, and we broke it.
You know what? That's a gorgeous statue. No judge would convict me for that.
You know
That
what?
is a
Let's do that.
beautiful
Let's do
statue.
that anyway. It's a best offer item, and we have some people join us late. So we had
Sure.
the Women of Dynamite Vampirella statue, black and white diamond eye edition. Suggested retail of $299.99.
Can I see it?
Well, we don't. It's in a box. We don't take it out of the box now.
Oh,
We just use the picture. And Preston is currently in the lead at 80, and I believe it is number
You should have said
47.
we're selling the one from your office, sir.
I don't think he has one in his office. So that is a best offer item. And who did I say was in the lead again? I think it was Preston is in the lead at 80.
And just
So-
to show everybody one thing,
A corrugated box.
no, there's only 49 of them.
I said that.
I know, but seeing is believing.
We've
So,
never lied to him before.
no, but it's always cool to show.
All right, so that will be available. All right, so anybody that's new that's never put a claim on the show, we have 2 types of claims. All right, so John
John's at
Spilios
90.
is in. Hey, John, what's going on, buddy? So John Spilios is in for 90, so that puts him in the lead. All right, so if you've never put forth a claim on the show, we have 2 types. We have buy it now. We'll throw an item up. We'll throw the price out. First person to claim it in the chats walks away with it. Then we have best offer at the end of the night, which means that we'll throw a starting price out, and the person who has the highest offer at $7.55 walks away with it. And we'll put a timer up and then line. All right, so Preston is up to 95. So Preston is currently in the lead.
I'll tell you right now, and I don't say this too often because I just want people to buy what they like, whatever.
Oh, John's up to 100.
This statue is probably something that you don't want to let slip
And
away.
Preston's at 105. They're going to make me write a lot. Okay, and to be honest, we're going to cap this at $299.99. Okay, so you know.
We don't want anybody paying more than retail because they're sort of like, I mean, it's an amazing statue, but you know.
All right, so in my current 105 by Preston.
I think
Gotcha,
Preston
buddy.
is the current lead with 105.
All right, so we're at 6:28, so we're going to take our first break.
Hold it.
Oh, wait, we're not going to take our first break. Nick's going to walk in
Oh, what's this?
with yogurt.
This is my dinner, so this is what we're going to do.
Okay, this is a best offer item starting at $10.
I know, right?
Okay.
This is a best offer item. You tell me how much you want me to pay you. No,
Nick
since
has
this
eaten
is my
about
dinner,
half of it, I
since this
think.
is my dinner, we're going to cap this at $250,
All
not
right, so Nick says we're
$299.
going to cap it at $250. Okay, plus half his yogurt. Will be
No,
thrown in.
listen, $249.99. I'm keeping the yogurt.
Jay Burns, you got it. Instead of the yogurt,
Can of
can of
Spam.
Spam. Do you want? We have 2 types. We have the low sodium and the regular.
Imagine Nick is filling out an order and he's like, yeah, I need Spam for my show. Excuse me, sir?
And
burn
John
after reading.
agreed.
Oui. That is the brand
That
of
is the
yogurt
brand.
that Nick eats.
Thank
It
you,
is.
sir. That's,
All right,
I'll take
so
that's
now
real sweet for people, man.
We will take our first break
I
and
mean,
stick.
really, Rex, do you want me to eat nothing?
There's a can of Spam.
They
here.
do.
All right, we know Nick's going to be desperate for protein if one of these cans of Spam disappears. All right, stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Thanks for tuning into The Experience. Help us out and hit subscribe over on YouTube and click the bell when you do. Need some help? Scan the QR code in the bottom corner.
This is The Experience.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hey there, hi there, ho there. You're as welcome as can be.
Hi, I'm Nancy McCann. Welcome to Friday Night Live on The Experience.
Welcome everybody to Fat Jack's Comic Crypt. Brendan, Al, Jason, hanging out.
There I am. Welcome back to Kicking It with Henry, folks. I am your host, Henry Kumpa. It's great to be here with you guys.
So we are going to talk about books that are in stores this week.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Mishmash.
Hello, and welcome to the Black Comics Universe, presented by Peep Game Comics.
And you gotta love it that the first people in the minute to skim it are creators.
Up, everybody! Welcome to another Wednesday Warriors. My name is Joey Galvez, and this is my pal Ambrosia.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to Space Cadet.
Hey!
What's up?
Welcome, everyone, for another episode of I Must Ask You a Question.
Hi, everybody! Welcome to Nerd News Now.
Hey, this is Rex. Welcome to Comic Collectables.
Hey, hello, all you happy people. Welcome to the Dan Wickline Show.
Hi, everybody, and welcome. This is the crazy show that we do on Thursdays called What's in the Box?
What's in the box?
Comic culture and sales.
All right, so I want to respond to Ron. Ron, Preston bid 105. I know you upped it with your cousin's mother of pearl button collection. Unfortunately, I don't really want one. All right, Preston, that's why we like you, buddy. And Dave, welcome back, brother. Let's see, Stevie B had, something serious. You watched a video where Rob Liefeld cited Neil Adams' Superman. Muhammad Ali is probably the best drawn comic of all time. I personally remember that from my youth, and I loved it. I absolutely loved it.
It is really good. Unfortunately, and I love Neil Adams, recently passed, so I don't want to be disrespectful. For me personally, nothing drawn can be the best of all time if it's not done by Alex Ross. So for me, it's Kingdom Come.
Wow, dude.
No, I'm just being honest. If we're talking about the flat out, hands down, no sort of mitigating circumstances, what's the best thing ever? No matter how good. I saw this on a shirt once, and it was funny. It said, Alex Ross, greater than your favorite. And I'm like, yeah, okay. I mean, It was an obnoxious shirt, but I didn't know how to dispute that.
And still available on John's website, this T-shirt.
No. And I get it. It's subjective. People be like, oh, I can't, this, that, or whatever. And that's okay.
Dave, you did not miss the Vampy Slab. And just because you joined us, and I know you're a busy man, we'll do that item next. And Jay Burns says he's with you on that one, buddy. All right. So let's see. Okay, here we go. Vampirella, Volume 5, Number 6, Stanley Art Germ Lau, Virgin CGC graded 9.8.
I remember this.
Suggested retail of $199.99, and we have it as a rare Virgin graded for $100, and we have one available for that price tonight. All right, so get that one right out of the way. I am a huge Neil Adams fan. I grew up, obviously with his Batman, and I just
I collected continuity comics and all
And
the
I love
continuity
Alex
characters.
Ross.
I love that.
I mean, I love Alex Ross. I remember continuity comics that came out with the
Ms. Mystic, Megalith.
They came out with the
Avengers.
Oh man, what's the name of the cover? They use it on vinyl siding.
Tyvek or something?
Tyvek, that's
Tyvek,
right.
yeah.
You couldn't tear it. Okay.
Yeah, it was a comic you
very
could
neat.
not tear.
So I remember reading the continuity comics as well. Dead Man was great.
Everything Neil Adams touched. You can make the argument that Roy Thomas and Neil Adams had that short run on the X-Men.
Right. Yes.
That short run is essentially what Byrne, Claremont, and subsequent creators did for 40 years thereafter. It's always like that sort of, 8, 9, 10 issues they did, the story there, changing the X-Men from being the Doom Patrol, essentially, let's be honest. I love the classic X-Men, but it's the Doom Patrol again.
Right.
Taking it from being the Doom Patrol to being this much bigger, broader sort of social context, humans versus mutants, etc. And then they left. Thomas took on other responsibilities. Adams moved on, but almost everyone else did the same thing.
All right, so let's get to another book because I want to be able to do a recap real soon because I know that's John's favorite
Jay,
part of
I
the show.
have been reading Alien Agenda. I just talked to Anamia a little while today. After reading Alien Agenda early this morning, I texted my wife and said, on your way home, you have to bring home a Tres Leches cake. For people who've been reading the book, they understand exactly what I mean and why. I can't say enough about this is her first swing out of the box. You know what I mean? And for her to have a book that's this entertaining, first time out, I think that's a great sort of, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, there are people who've been, and I'm not going to name names because that's just too harsh, but there have been people that have been in this business for decades that have not crafted or turned in a story that I've read that's as entertaining as Alien Agenda is.
So you think she's got a future as a writer then?
I think she has a future as a writer, especially because she did not come from a writer's background.
That's true.
She was more of a performance artist, a cosplayer, model, whatever. She didn't wake up as a little kid and say, "I want to be a writer." That just sort of became a natural sort of.
Yeah, I mean, we had her on the show. What was it, last fall?
Yeah, last fall or something.
Somewhere. And she was very engaging and knowledgeable. It was great having her on the show. So maybe we'll try that again.
I mean, that was. I was gonna say the same thing. I mean, that's pretty unique.
Alec, was it you?
What?
When we had Anime on the show?
Yeah, I was on.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right.
I just, I think that needs to be said a little bit too, because you got people that have been doing these books sometimes for years, sometimes for decades. It's all over the place. I mean, this is her first shot out of the box. I think it takes a lot of courage to do that. I mean, all jokes aside, the number of scripts I've handed Nick over the years is 0.
Well, 0 that's been accepted.
No, I mean, literally 0. I've occasionally said to Nick, hey, I'd like to see this and that, but I never said about learning how to write for comics, developing as a writer, and saying, Nick, here, publish this because it's infinitely better than anything else you've published for Green Hornet. I've never done that. I won't.
Stevie B, that's interesting. I did not know that. He also learned from that video that Neil Adams wrote and directed a movie in the early 80s called Death to the Pee-wee Squad. It starred as kids and other artists in roles. I was unaware of that as well. Oh, Ron, yes, you have to let us know what happened at
She was an awesome con. She did not have the greatest flight home. If you follow Anime on social media, particularly Twitter, the flight home was not great.
This summer, I don't know who's going to have a great flight home or a flight anywhere. I mean,
she mentioned that too because she's sort of expanding her con appearances and stuff like that. And, she was like, this is the beginning of one terrible flight after another.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
That's the way it's starting to look.
It doesn't matter where you go I have friends that fly coach. I have friends that pack themselves in a FedEx bus to get from one place to another. I have friends that fly first class. Every single person has told me the same story.
The flight doesn't take off.
Flight doesn't take off. The flight's canceled. It doesn't matter where you are. If you're in the first class lounge, they don't care.
And what happens is obviously with all the connections, once one gets canceled, you have this falling domino problem. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunately going to be true for quite some time, I'm guessing.
Well, so people ask about me going to San Diego, and I still haven't closed the book on San Diego. But my problem is I lack the maturity to calmly accept when a flight is canceled. When I'm somewhere and a flight's canceled,
I'm thinking that list is a lot bigger than that.
I instantly go into, well, put me on another plane. Back in the day, I'd be on like my tablet or now my phone, and I'm just trying to find a way to get out of there. I've been caught multiple times at airports over the years. I just rent a car and go. I don't have the wherewithal to sit quietly and wait. People are like, oh, well, if you wait 4 hours, another plane will come. And in my mind, I'm like, well, in 4 hours, I can be at another airport, and hopefully they'll put me on a plane right away.
So Jay Burns has a very interesting point. Do you ever flash your Regal VIP card?
Even that doesn't work at airports, people are telling me, which is crazy.
That's a shocker. That's absolutely shocker. All right, let's get to the next book. We have Silver Surfer #1, signed by Michael Allred. Suggested retail of $29.99. It is number 16 of only 325 signed, and we have one available for $19.66. The year the Silver Surfer first appeared. So that is available tonight as well.
The biggest reason I go to San Diego this year is so Dave and I could do a show from Lou and Mickey's at the bar, like while we're waiting for our dinner.
You just want to go to Lou and Mickey's at the bar.
I've said it before, Lou and Mickey's is one of my favorite places on the planet to eat. That's like a bucket list place. I love Lou and Mickey's.
All right, so
For those that don't know, it's right across the convention center in San Diego.
So, all right, AR, why don't you start with New Comic Book Day? Tell us what you saw out there you like, you didn't like, or whatever the case may be.
It was surprisingly a pretty solid week. Aftershock, I had a little bit smaller of a week. I actually picked up a DC book this week too. The new Black Label. I tend to only grab Black Labels. Yeah, I only get Black Labels from DC because the ongoing stuff I don't pick that up, and then I like the little mini stories. But Aftershock had a new one. I don't know where that one is. It's The Astronaut Down. I thought that was a pretty unique story. I was a little let down by Image's new horror anthology series. I don't know if they've got a different idea of what horror is than I do, but it seemed very very toned down. So that was a little disappointing.
About that a lot. If you're gonna do horror, you have to do horror.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna do like a Western story, you have to do a Western story. You can't do a regular story and just have it be cowboys. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes that's what happens. And it sounds like this is what happened here. If you say horror, I expect to kind of be like, oh, as I'm reading this, or I close my iPad, like, or whatever. You know what I mean? No, something that goes bump in the night. No, okay.
Well, what about you for New Comic Book Day?
Because I was so busy with other stuff today, all I really managed to read, well, I read it the other day, was the Dynamite stuff. Nyx in particular is a book that has seriously kicked off. Nyx is like legitimate laugh out loud funny to me. I don't know if they intended to make Nyx that funny, or if I'm just kind of like a bad person, so I find Nyx funny. But Nyx is legitimately laugh out loud funny. We talked about Betty Page, Alien Agenda, Vampirella Strikes, more name dropping for me. I've been back and forth DMing Tom Stigowski all day.
Right.
And I certainly don't have any. I love Vampirella. I've been reading it most of my life. There's been a huge roster of top shelf people that have worked on this book. Right now, Christopher Priest is working on it. There's a lot of guys that have worked on Vampirella. For me, Tom Stigowski gets that character the best. And moving into Vampirella Strikes, I got to tell you right now, Vampirella Strikes would be an amazing animated show.
So Josh says he's got to catch up, but it's been pretty tongue-in-cheek with Nyx, he said.
They wanted Nyx to have a little bit of a... I figured it would be a little bit funny, but I mean, I'm legitimately laughing. I'm sitting in the room laughing as I'm reading this thing going, I didn't think it was going to be quite that funny, but Dynamite's horror tends to always have a little bit of humor in it, and that seems to be really popular. Evil Ernie.
I was gonna say Evil Ernie, definitely.
Evil Ernie, even Army of Darkness. I mean, it's Ash,
That one
right?
too.
So, it's not like they're trying to do. We have, and I forget. I think
Kiss did as well. The Kiss Phantom Obsession that had some comedy to it.
That there's never anything like we'll say like something is killing the children level evil. You know what I mean? Like that's a joyless comic. And it's very good. I don't mean disrespect, but House of Slaughter is a little bit different. But something is killing the children is just, that's a dark black comic. It's kids getting killed by monsters. No, maybe that's a spoiler, but that's it. That's the story.
And I'm there for it.
So there's no haha in there. There's no room for Ash or somebody to do, or Elvira to pop in with something kind of, cheeky and, whatever. Honestly, you know what? I think I'd like to see Dynamite do one book like that, actually. I mean, I love all the stuff we do, but I would love to see one, like, straight horror book.
So I actually don't know the answer to this question. I don't believe so, but John Spilios' question. Does Jonathan Lau...
Jonathan Lau is amazing, and to be honest with you, that's like a Nick-level question.
Yeah.
Unless Jonathan Lau has said it publicly, most creators don't talk about their contract status, unless it's like a massive creator where, Scott Snyder tells you, this is where I'm planting my flag or whatever. I have not, and I don't mean this as a slight, I haven't seen Jonathan Lau's work anywhere other than Dynamite. If anybody has seen it elsewhere, or somebody wants to throw up an image or a link or something, that's great. I haven't seen that.
Well, maybe Nick will come back in after he's done with his yogurt and answer the question.
He's taking a nap.
Yeah, right. After all that yogurt, must weigh him down.
Unfortunately for you, my contract here is exclusive. I won't do shows anywhere else, just with you.
Are we supposed to hug it out now or what? All right. So next up, we got Weapon H, #1 variant cover signed by Greg Pak in gold. It's just a retail of $89.99, and it is #4 of only 21 signed in gold. And it's one of our 5-star books at $50.
I think this is a character. I love this cover. I love this character. I think this is a character I don't want to say missed the boat on, but they could have done more with it. Alec, I think we might have talked about this before. They could do more with this character, I think. So
they had something a little while ago. They did some event. I think it was the Absolute Carnage event. They had like a Weapon H tie-in, and it honestly, to me, served no purpose. It had nothing to do with the series. It had nothing to do with anything. It just kind of existed as is. I think they came out with something slightly after that, but I never ended up reading it. I can't remember, though.
I mean, I just think this idea is, this idea that characters' superpowers, and we've seen this in DC, we've seen this in Marvel, we've seen this in Image, Dark Horse. I think even part of, if you're reading, and you should be reading, but if you're reading Fractured States, superpowers from Dynamite, there's this thing of weaponizing people's powers. You'll see there's a great, I can't remember the book, but they're like, deploy 3 Hulks. So literally it's like SHIELD agents that take a brief formula to make them the Hulk for an hour. And it's this whole thing of sort of they're weaponizing people's superpowers. It's just like another piece of equipment now. I have my rifle, I have my boots, I have my helmet, I have my super soldier serum so I can be Captain America for an hour. And I think there's a lot of storytelling there. And of course, probably the most obvious one is The Boys.
Right.
Well, Corporation, we get that all the time. They've sort of commercialized superpowers.
I have got to catch up. So tonight, probably after the show, when I head home, I'm going to try to catch up when I.
You can tell they're the evil corporation because they're not nice to Homelander. They are not.
Oh man! All right. So then, let's see. Should we do a recap?
Okay, thanks, Josh. Josh just pointed out that Weapon H is in Savage Avengers, which is kind of like I don't want to say it's a bad book, but that's kind of like all over the place, right? It's sort of like I think Conan is in that book.
Yeah, I was gonna say Josh was right. I remembered. I literally just read it earlier. This is one of the variants You're right. It kind of is all over the place right now, at least for 2 issues deep, but it is it's surprisingly actually really good, I think. But
all right, let's do a quick recap. All right, for anybody joining us a little late. So
yeah, we have had people just kind of streaming in a little
bit. Yeah. So all right, so they might come back from their local LCS. First off, we had Champions #1, Dynamic Forces exclusive variant cover by superstar artist John Cassaday. Suggested retail of $29.99. We have it for $20.16, and we have multiple copies in celebration of Miss Marvel premiering. Then we also had the black and white variant cover of the same comic by John Cassaday. That had a suggested retail of $39.99, and we also have it available for $20.16. We have probably 5 of each. We definitely have 5 of each copy. If there's more demand for it, I will definitely check to make sure that we have more. Then we had Deceased #1, signed by Greg Capullo, suggested retail of $49.99, and we have it available for $19.38. It is number 8 of 240 signed. Then we had Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight #1, signed by James Tinian IV, suggested retail of $69.99, and we have one available, number 7 of 40 signed in silver. Best offer book starting at $27. And then we had Silver Surfer #1, signed by Michael Allred, suggested retail of $29.99, and we have one available for $19.66.
I like that he signed it on the board. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty cool.
It's almost like board graffiti. That's kind of neat.
And it is number 16 of 325. And then we just had Weapon H #1, variant cover signed by Greg Pak in gold, suggested retail of $89.99, and we have it as one of our 5-star at $50 books.
Imagine if this was a glow in the dark cover.
That would be kind of cool.
Like you know what I mean? Cool. Like the interior, that would be cool.
It is a 5-star book at $50, and it is number 4 of only 21 signed in gold.
Creative Keep wants to kick off the Grim Knight at 20.
All right, Creative Keep. You got it, buddy. Grim Knight, Creative Keep.
And now, real quick, what I was going to say before is I think it's JD that's on tonight. That's probably one of the better ways to describe it. Conan's in it for now. I don't think he's going to be in it for too much longer. Or I'm not. I know they said a thing about him being back and forth with it, but they're all basically running away from Deathlock right now, and it's pretty sweet.
All right, so Creative Keep, I'm going to put it down at 20, although the starting price was actually 27. We're going to go ahead and do it and start it at 20 just to get it going. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Then we have Vampirella, Volume 5. Number 6, Stanley Art Germ Lau, Virgin CGC graded 9.8 guaranteed. Suggested retail of $199.99. It is one of our perfect 10 books at $100, a rare Virgin graded 9.8. And we have one available at that price. And then we did Women of Dynamite, Vampirella statue, black and white, Diamond Eye edition. Suggested retail of $299.99. It is a best offer book, and Preston is in the lead at $105. And we will cap it tonight at $250. So yeah, anybody that wants to claim it for $250, they walk away with it. All right, just to make sure it does not go above retail. Sometimes things get a little competitive.
It was nice. Nick came in. Retail was $299.99.
Right, we were going to cap it at retail.
We were going to cap it at retail. Nick came in to cap it at $249. So whoever picks this up, even if they pick it up at $249, they're already saving $50.
Correct.
Which I think is very cool.
And since John said $249, I assume he's paying the extra $1.
Sure.
Watch him try to give it to me in pennies. So that is also available tonight. Oh, and as always, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set. That may eventually come off the show. We haven't had Josh went yogurt.
Yogurt discount.
Because we haven't had a lot of takers in recent shows. So, if anybody requests it, we'll bring it back. But it'll always be available to our viewers. 10 random Dynamite titles with a cover price of $3.99 or higher. So a suggested retail of $40 or higher. We have it, as always, as a thank you to our viewers, for $5.
I think this is a seasonal thing. I've been watching this. I think this is a seasonal thing. I think starting like at Halloween, people use this to give the comics away, right? And then very shortly after Halloween, we start creeping up towards Christmas time. And this is like a great sort of, you know what I mean? Like if you're at a company and there's like, you know, your Secret Santa and there's a certain cap for it or whatever, if you know your person, there's a lot of uses for this other than just sending me a bunch of Dynamite books.
JD, you got it, buddy. Just email me your ship to address so I know where to ship it, my friend. All right, but we'll definitely get you a 10-pack. And if there are any titles in particular you want, let me know and I'll do my best. All right, so let's see. Do we have time for one? Oh, you know what? Let's do a CCA before we.
Yeah, I was just saying, let's do a CCA before we go to our next break.
All right, so let's see. All right, this is a cool one. All right, so Justice League of America #1, blank variant, ultra limited edition cover, signed by Steve Orlando with a cover sketch of Superman by Ken Hazer, and it is also signed by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99. We have one available, for $50. All right, so that is available tonight.
You think Ken thinks that Superman is Bruce Campbell? I'm looking at the chin.
I kind of get that.
What I mean? And I'm like, the S stands for S-Smart.
But we did the Batman one on Monday, so I figured it makes sense to bring Superman out today. So that is available tonight, CCA.
Dude, the world's finest CCAs.
Oh man. So that is also available tonight. So wondering what else is coming out in like the next month or two.
We talked about Black Adam is coming out.
Right, Black Adam. So I got
remember Thor coming.
Thor, the Jane Foster. What's it? Love and Thunder.
When's the scheduled date?
It's like beginning or middle of July.
I think it's either 4th of July weekend or right thereafter.
Okay.
Wait, I think it's the 9th. For some reason, I think it's the 9th. Let me look it up.
Okay.
All right. So JD says it reminds him of Superman and Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a really good.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Right there.
It's July 8th. You can go Thursday though. It looks like for July 7th.
Black Adam is August.
Is it August? Yeah, I feel like that's right, but I'm not sure.
Oh.
We'll be selling this in August then.
Nice.
There you go.
Nice.
Will not be on this Friday's original art show. It will be on a original art show sometime in August.
That should be the biggest mega pack ever. Comics with Black Adam and then original art.
Year of the Villain #1. When was this?
Year of the Villain was a while ago.
2013, right?
Yeah, I was going to say that's 20.
Almost 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So, all right, you know what? It's time for a second break, so we're going to go ahead and take that.
Josh, I think that is JR Jr., actually.
Yeah,
I didn't
so
get a great look at it, but it looked like it was JR Jr.
Is that JR Jr., Nick?
We'll find out and let you know when we come back from the break.
Yep. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Did you know that every experience show, including some exclusive content, streams on Twitch? Check it out. Twitch.tv/the_EXP. Or just scan that QR code.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit ComicShopLocator.com to find a store near you.
Comic Collectables is a pretty straightforward show. You got Rex here, he sells the comics, and you got Rockin' Robbie, he knows about the comics. And finally, John, well, no one really knows what John does. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a great guy, but he just keeps showing up. Come to think of it, I don't even really know how he gets in here. Anyway, awesome comics, rare books, rarer signatures, slabbed books, and amazing cover sketches by Ken Hazer and others. Simple formula. You want the comics? You buy the comics. To sum up, Rex sells the comics, Robbie knows the comics, and John, who might possibly be a ghost. I mean, seriously, has anyone ever seen him show up or leave? Comic Collectables with Rex and John, Mondays from 6 to 8 Eastern on The Experience. Comic culture and sales.
There's a super new way to support your friends over at The Experience. Head over to YouTube and send us a super chat, a super sticker, or a super thanks. We'll be super grateful for your support, and then keep an eye out as we launch membership services over on YouTube. It'll be a great way to get first look access at new content and shows before anybody else. Keep your eyes peeled and make sure you're following us on YouTube.
That's just not a great idea.
All right, we're back. Let's see. Ron, shoot me an email. I will follow up since Nick has put it in my wheelhouse. Joel, yeah, laughing out loud. John and Ghost. I want to shout out to JD and Kyle. They put together 2 great commercial segments for
Those
our
commercials
show.
are hysterical.
Yeah,
They are solid.
We continue to do less and less, which is great.
That's John's whole life
That's
philosophy.
like, like if somebody needs to know something, like we have Alec in here,
or Robbie.
or Robbie's in here. You guys do the heavy lifting with knowing stuff, and then we've got people that kind of do the technical stuff. I just breeze in to catch the comic.
That allows John to get up early in the morning and watch the latest MCU episodes.
You know what my prep time was like for this show?
You walk in, bring a bunch of food and your coffee. You sit down, you start reading this week's Dynamite issue.
And then he looks for the statue.
And then we start. So I'd say your prep time is less than we could -1. Would that be about accurate?
Considering our ratings, that's a great return on investment.
Oh my God! All right. JD, can you really make him disappear? Can we really do that? Can we do that poof thing?
I don't think we have.
Well, hello, everybody.
All right. So next up, should we do another CCA?
Sure.
All right. So
people love CCA.
Keeping up with the Superman theme, we have Superman #1 signed and cover sketch of Superman by Ken Hazer, and this is an entirely different look. Suggested retail of $99.99. We have it tonight for $69.99. We have one available. You know what? That is the amazing thing about Ken Hazer.
I like that, man. Red Eyed Superman is my favorite.
Same character, completely different look. I can't gush enough about his stuff. And I've mentioned it before that when I found out he was actually colorblind,
that's wild. That's totally crazy.
Just unreal.
Particularly the way he does some of the stuff with the metallic inks. We had just very recently, what did we have? Venom, right?
Yes.
Spider-Man Venom thing.
In silver.
In silver, and that's just crazy. He's done it a couple times before.
I think because he is colorblind, it depends more heavily on the shading.
Yeah,
maybe. Even though it's the same paint pen, it looks very different.
I mean, I can't even do stick figures, so I don't understand a lot about creating comic book art. But he's almost like a 6th or 7th sense.
Right.
Well, Daredevil can't see, but he can hear you breathing 3 miles away. Ken might be colorblind, but first of all, you never know from the work. Second of all, we get all these wild, sort of crazy, negative space shading type of works that are just.
I don't know if he asked somebody, who isn't colorblind to check it, but
he said when he did the thing with Adam that he likes these particular brand of pens because the colors are on there almost like old crayon.
Right.
He picks it up and it says cobalt blue, Kelly green, cherry red, so he kind of knows what he's getting into a little bit.
So that is available tonight on CCA. Suggested retail of $99.99. And we have one available tonight for $69.99.
And when Superman's eyes turn that color, you messed up. Because he's generally sort of like the congenial neighborhood pastor. Oh, come on, can't we all get along? And then you mess up and the eyes turn red.
You know what?
That means it's almost near the end of the comic when his eyes turn red.
You know what? We missed one of the best offers.
Oh, did we? Okay.
Well, no, I did. But... All right, so we might as well do this one next. It is a CCA. It is Contest of Champions #1, blank variant signed with a Deadpool cover sketch by Ken Hazer. This is a neat piece. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book at $25. Again, heavy in Champions only because of the launch of Miss Marvel, which I got to watch tonight as well. So I think there we go, JD. Perfect. All right, so that is a best offer book starting at $25.
Is this something Ron has? I mean,
Dwayne's a pain. Gotcha, buddy. All right, so Dwayne's going to start us off at 30. Fantastic. Okay, so I got you down, my man. All right, and let's see. That is, I just, again, I can't say enough about Ken, and just his amazing, his amazing work.
I'm looking at the sword, and when I look at it closely, it almost reminds me of Shatterstar's double blade from like the 90s.
Oh, because of the
way it is, it almost looks like. And this is, of course, aging us, but in the 90s, they did some pretty wild and crazy designs with these characters. Shatterstar had this sort of sword cutlass thing, but it was like twin blades right next to each other.
I see what you're saying, because he has that black kind of shading at the bottom.
I don't know if that's just shading or if he's trying to denote that there was two blades. Either way, it's very cool.
It is very cool. So Josh Wentz says, I get chronic headaches. I feel like
seen by that cover. And Deadpool not having a good day.
All right. So Dwayne is in the lead at $30 on that one. So let's do another CGC. This one's pretty. I like this one. Kind of in theme with what we were doing. I think it was last week we did. So it's Detective Comics #1000, 1970s variant. Cover CGC graded 9.8. I think we did some Action Comics.
I think I was going to say Go-Go checks or.
So suggested retail of $89.99. We have it one available tonight, guaranteed 9.8 for $70 for 1970s.
I tell people this all the time, particularly with DC. If you want to see something really cool, go back and look at their covers from the 60s and 70s. Right. I mean, obviously, I don't expect people to go back and buy thousands of back issues or whatever, but watching what they did with their logos and stuff like that was very, very cool. They would change the fonts for the title of the book. There was like a million different things for Batman or whatever. Somebody asked me, why does Supergirl have like 100 costumes? Supergirl always had 100 costumes. That's just the way it was. She's in pants. She's in miniskirt. She's in like a tennis outfit. Right. They just decided that was a cool thing to do for her.
I mean, this reminds me. We're talking about Neil Adams, Batman, and everything else. It kind of brings me back to that period of time.
Yeah, this almost screams like Denny O'Neil to me a little bit.
Yeah.
Jim Aparo, like you said, Neil Adams, of course, kind of these guys that really sort of dragged Batman. I don't want to say campy, but
it was.
Bill Finger dueling on a giant typewriter type sort of comic strip mentality to, on the Dark Knight.
Yeah, a first phase in him becoming the Dark Knight before Frank Miller took that over. And
I watched my parents get killed. Danny O'Neil talked about that, like the psychology of Batman, like, he's smiling, he's got a sidekick, he's zipping around the car with a big funny face. And he starts thinking, really? Yeah. This would be the reaction if you watched your parents be brutally murdered as a child?
I would agree.
That's right. Neil Adams decided chest hair was going to be a thing.
All right. So that's available tonight for $70. We have one available at that price. Is it time for a recap, you think?
Didn't we just back from the break. You did one book.
Did we?
The recap is.
Yeah, I think we just did one.
Yeah, we just did one. Even
The
Alex
recaps
doesn't
are
want that
so much
again.
fun. All right, so let's go to another book. So we have Infinity #1. I love this cover. Variant cover signed in gold by writer Jonathan Hickman. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star at $50 books. Hickman's signatures are very difficult to get. It is number 10 of only 10 signed in gold. And we have one available at the $50 price.
Surprised we have one available.
That's an awesome read too. It's a really good read.
It's a great read. The cover is cool. This is one of these things where, wait, what are we asking for this again?
50.
That's not bad at all, man. Something like,
So that is, and it is number 10 of 10. If edition numbers, limited edition numbers mean something to you. All right, Creative Key, gotcha, buddy.
And you're right. The compositions like that where they almost like negative space, like they're drawing everything around the blackness, or in some of the cases whiteness, like some of the things that crazy good.
All right, so
I think Alec actually has this. I think he just pulled it up his bookshelf.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the people who can't like get the issues, they have deluxe hardcover of it.
Oh, nice.
And it looks really cool too off it.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's
wow.
Nice. Wow.
It actually covers the Infinity 1 through 6, but then it has all the important tie-ins. And usually I'm not a tie-in guy, but these were actually like really, they felt very important to the story. New Avengers 7 through 12, Avengers 14 through 23, and then Infinity Against the Tide 1 and 2. Cover price is $75. I feel like this actually might be more than $75 at this point. I'm sure it's not in print, but it's definitely one of the better ones to pick up. I actually think this was I think my first hardcover that I ever bought.
Oh,
so
wow.
Yeah, it is like the first Marvel hardcover.
Yeah, it is. So JD says he loves compositions where it starts all black and the artist just finds a light. I agree with that.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, Hazer is special to that when he does the blank, blank covers, especially in silver paint pen. Absolutely phenomenal. Crazy. All right, so let's see.
You have any more collabs?
We do. You want to do another
Yeah,
slab?
sure.
All right. So we have What If Miles Morales #1 CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $99.99. We have it for $62.19. Celebrate Spider-Man's 60th anniversary week, celebrating 1962. And we have one available, guaranteed 9.8 at the price of $62.19.
This was a fun read. This was probably the best one of the series so far.
I agree. I've been reading these, and I think this one was
probably the best.
We're sort of all once they decided, we'll call it the multiversing. Miles Morales, I think, is the character that jumped out, a little bit ahead because we had different versions of Ultimate characters, undead versions. Something about Miles Morales, Bendis just decided, I guess, when they created Ultimate Spider-Man, that he had this in his mind that Ultimate Peter Parker was not going to make it, and his sort of his story was going to inspire and inform Miles Morales' story.
I mean, speaking of, I got him right now.
Oh, there it is, right on there.
He's probably my favorite character. I'm a big fan.
Still not completely sold on Miles Morales. I'm just going to put it this way: like whatever characters you like. I see Miles Morales shirts on sale at Target, not the Boardwalk, not in Chinatown, not some flea market out in the middle of nowhere.
So you're talking Main Street.
At Target, when the shirts are being sold at Target, that is a
Dave
mainstream.
brings up a good point. Kids love Miles.
Yeah.
So,
Hell, I love Miles.
The character. I mean, it's we never talk speculation, but clearly Miles Morales titles are gonna.
Yeah, I mean, eventually they'll name an actor, and he'll be your Miles Morales, and you'll start sort of. I know that Sony isn't shy about casting a bunch of different people.
Right, that's true.
I mean, they've talked about they're going to bring Tobey Maguire back. I think they just announced there's going to be another Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield.
So
we'll see if that comes about.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen plenty of them up to this point.
They seem to have no trouble. They're all in on the,
If it works, So I'd be interested to see who the the Miles Morales actor will be.
I think they're probably a couple of years away. So your Miles Morales is probably sitting in one of like the Nickelodeon Disney shows or something. You know what I mean? Or he's like a completely unknown guy, like in high school.
Right.
And some producer is going to see him and say, "Hey,
perfect.
You want to be Miles Morales? Get in the car. Let's go to the studio and get you signed up."
I mean, that's a little creepy, though.
I believe it. I believe it, though. I really do.
All right, so Ron's going to claim it. You got it, Ron. It is yours, my friend. All right, so.
And you're right. Andrew Garfield was not a terrible Spider-Man.
He wasn't.
Those stories that he was in were kind of. They weren't the equal to the character, I don't think.
Well, it's always tough when you're following a pretty successful set. Tobey Maguire.
I was in the minority. I didn't particularly like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I didn't particularly like Andrew Garfield the Spider-Man either. They didn't really. But I am not the biggest Spider-Man fan. I always say this, right? For the Spider-Man aficionado, the hardcore fan, maybe those guys are great. Maybe they're not.
I heard Andrew Garfield's going to be the new Green Hornet.
No, he's not.
So my take is, and this is someone who grew up with the original, like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. I think he's a great Peter Parker. I think he lacked a little bit in Spider-Man, but those are still my favorite movies. I think Andrew Garfield nailed the Spider-Man, but didn't do the Peter Parker as well. And now we've got Tom Holland, and I think he's just a nice combo of both. I don't think he really shines at either, but I think he's very good.
Well, I think Tom Holland had a little bit of a push or help in the sense that he
got version 3.0, right? So he got
introduced to the MCU universe as well. So he had
that too.
A lot of help, whereas Tobey Maguire didn't, and Andrew Garfield didn't. But I would agree with your assessment. Yeah, I would. But I would also agree with you that probably the Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans are my favorite.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, I love Willem Dafoe. Okay, so his Green Goblin was fantastic. So, and it was a good self-contained story. All right, so Tom Holland's suit, the Spider Puppy. The Tom.
I think for me, Tom Holland he's perfect. But like I said, I am not the biggest Spider-Man fan. I read the book sometimes, but there are people that have like hardcore. There are people that have like Spider-Man tattoos. That is not me. So if somebody else likes or dislikes Tom Holland or likes or dislikes Andrew Garfield, I'm happy to accept their judgment about what's better. For me, I think Tom Holland is right if you're going to put Spider-Man in the MCU. I don't think Tobey Maguire fits in the MCU, and I don't think Andrew Garfield fits in the MCU. Like, think of the scene if he's going to be at like Andrew Garfield's house, and they're going to have that conversation about you've won the Stark Foundation scholarship. You need the right person for Spider-Man as he appears in the MCU. And I think of the three Spider-Men we have, I think that's Tom Holland.
So Dwayne Zapane says, Seed Spider-Man 2 Tobey has yet to be topped as that character. I would agree with that, actually. Yeah, I mean, I really, it was self-contained, and I agree with what John said.
That's a great line. Oh, you were an Avenger? That's great. What is that? That is a great line. I love that.
So Dave is saying Garfield would have been 10 times better with a 10 times better script. That's true too.
I agree with that too.
Yeah,
I think Garfield was, of all the Spider-Man movies we've had, he's had the worst writing support.
Yeah. So
he's sort of not had the.
Because I do like him as an actor.
He was in Heartbreak Hill or something I watched. I can't remember the name of it. He was in like a World War II thing where he played like a pacifist that wouldn't carry a gun. He was like a chaplain or a pastor or something, and he was saving people's lives.
Which movie you're talking
and his
about.
performance was amazing.
You sure that wasn't Tobey Maguire?
No, that was Andrew Garfield.
I kind of remember this film, and he kept dragging bodies off the hill.
And they were like, "You have to carry a gun," and he's like, "I'm not going to do that."
He was a conscientious
objector,
right?
But he still went and he rescued people's lives. It was based on.
I think it was
a true story.
Yeah, I mean, he pulled every
job.
one of them one at a time down that big cliff. I mean, I remember watching this film as well. I can't.
And
remember
that's hard to pull off. Wait a minute, it's a World War II movie. I'm going to be a soldier, and I'm not fighting.
I have no gun.
No, man, you're going to be armed with a Bible and a first aid kit.
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Hey, Kenneth.
Kenneth Berg, what's going on, buddy? Hacksaw Ridge. Thank you, JD.
So that
was
guy
a
has
phenomenal
acting
film.
I don't think there's any.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal film. I mean, I like war movies, but then when I heard the premise, I'm watching it and I'm thinking, how interesting can this
So there's
be?
movies where my wife is like, sit down and watch this. I don't care that you only like Saving Private Ryan. Watch this. So I'm like, okay. And I was like, wow, this is really,
I just
really
recently
good.
rewatched Saving Private Ryan.
Wait, did you say you don't like that movie?
No, I do. I said that.
Oh man, I was about to say.
It depends on how much time I have. If I have the whole day, I watch Band of Brothers. If I've only got a couple hours, I watch Saving Private Ryan. My wife is tired of hearing those things in the background from our TV rooms. So she's like, here, I want to see this. Her friend at book club said it was a great movie, whatever, blah, blah. And I'm like, And then I'm like, oh, he's Spider-Man. All right, I'll leave it on.
And now,
great.
Now that noise can be covered by your new cappuccino machine.
Man, that's all I heard from upstairs. What is that?
Because it's 3:00 in the morning, John.
That's
the poor woman wants to sleep.
That's the sound of happiness being brewed.
For you, maybe.
I'm super fortunate.
I have to say, every week it's a shock you're still married. Just from the story.
To me as well, quite
It's
frankly.
the cooking.
Good point. You know, he wakes up every Monday. Oh, she's still here. Wow.
You still live here? All right, cool. Well, let the dog out.
I'll make 2 portions of breakfast.
I'm making cortados. Okay.
Now, here's the real question on a cappuccino machine, because you obviously got one. You're a big fan of it. Do you need... Now, I've talked to some of my friends that also have had one in the past. They said you absolutely need a more expensive one. Like, that's something you actually can't really cheap out on. What do you think?
I hate to say stuff like this because it sounds almost like you're being a jerk. But if you're spending $150 or $200,
not almost.
I mean, I'll take the shot here. If you're spending under most good quality espresso machines, are starting about $500.
I'm going to Starbucks.
No, that's what I heard too. They said you need to spend at least $500 or $600 to make it worth your money.
Not to get too science, coffee addict, chefy or whatever, but the machine has to have at least 20 bars of pressure to do the proper extraction method. There's a lot to it there.
It's like an alien language.
You need the frother thing, the steam wand, as it's called.
Yes.
You have to have all that stuff. And I understand there are companies that'll tell you, we have all that for $60 or $70. Okay, sure.
Actually, I have to be honest. I bought an espresso cappuccino machine years and years ago. I mean, like long time ago, long before my daughter was born. And I cheaped out, honestly. But I used it maybe a handful of times. It was incredibly difficult. I can see why you're saying the thing about the pressure. It was incredibly difficult to froth the milk. It just doesn't work. And by the time you finally got something going, all the steam is gone. Yeah.
Steam is gone. The coffee's cold. Then you have to reheat the coffee. I'll also say this about espresso machines. If you are the typical person that wakes up and has to go to his or her job, maybe you have to catch a train, maybe you want to be on the road by a certain time to avoid rush hour. Espresso machines are not necessarily for that.
Nah, that's a wake up on Saturday or Sunday and enjoy your morning.
Yes.
Or
it's
3 a.m. in the morning East Coast time to watch the latest MCU or Star Wars episodes.
It's true. I wake up. It's very relaxed. I take my time.
He took a picture of it.
I did. I texted a picture. I was like, it's showtime. There's a lot. You have to keep it clean.
That too. I heard that's a pain.
Clean. And then if you really go expensive, you have to have a plumber come and add it to your water supply. That's the next step.
I'm going to Starbucks, man.
The next step for me. And plus, there's a jump too. You can get one for $100, $150. The next jump up is $550. After that, you're close to $2,000.
Oh my god!
And
yeah,
I think
there's like no in betweens for this
there's
type
no
of
in-between, and
yeah.
if somebody tries to sell you an in between, just get a Coffee Ninja and follow their instructions. It's like, $99. It'll be fine. You know what I mean? The average person, I don't think the average person needs in their house the one I have, let alone my neighbor, like 6-7 doors up. He actually had one installed. Like a contractor came and removed the chunk of his cabinet, set the thing up literally with a cement surround.
I've seen that before.
And the plumbing comes in. He literally decided during the pandemic, well, you know what? I'm not going into Philadelphia anymore to my favorite coffee shop. I'm going to bring it to me. The guy placed a huge order with a Spanish company that ships over coffee. And I'm just
now he and John are best friends watching it.
Oh no, that guy hates me. He likes my wife, but he hates me. He can't stand me at all. Oh God, your husband's so loud and obnoxious. And my wife is like, yes, I know.
And that's why we have him on the show every week.
But yeah, we kind of got off track a little bit. But if you're looking for a coffee maker, do your research. And I know people always be like, no, this one's different. Trust me, I've worked in the food and beverage industry for a long time. You're sort of pigeonholed in at a certain price point for level of performance.
All right, so on that note, before we go to our next break, getting off track. That is our brand. So we can add cappuccino machines to the list. Let's do Purgatory number 5, Jimmy Broxton Premium Metal Cover. Suggested retail $100. It is one of our 5-star for $50 books.
One of my favorite all-time things Nick has done with Dynamite is by Chaos.
It is an aluminum alloy metal. It is not foil. Do be careful. I know a few of the viewers have purchased the metal covers, and when you pull it out, those corners are sharp. So do be careful.
I'm super excited. Didn't Ron say he sent some to CGC? Is it
yes.
Ron?
Right, Ron?
Man, Ron. If it's somebody else, I'm sorry. I think it was Ron who said.
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was.
I'm looking forward to seeing how that works out.
It was.
We haven't heard from a single person that's gone through the CGC experience.
Ron said on Monday, as a matter of fact, that he when he was at AwesomeCon, he sent it to get graded at CGC. So, Ron, keep us up to date. When it comes back in about.
And for people who might not be completely aware, Chaos kind of launched in the 90s. It was very much of that period, and it very much fits into the Dynamite portfolio of humorous horror. Like those characters, Evil Ernie didn't miss a beat, jumping from, Chaos to being like the Chaos imprint in Dynamite.
So, so that's one of our metal covers tonight. It is available for, we have one available for $50. And then we have
there's a metal cover for $50?
Yeah, and we have some more Jimmy Broxton metal covers
All right.
Which we will get to. But when we come back from our last and final break, guess what? It's time for recap time. My favorite part of the show.
Don't warn them of that. We'll come back to just Alec going, they all left.
They gone.
Stay with us.
Yes, he did. Thanks, Ron. For waiting.
There we go. Thank you, Ron.
Evil Ernie, Nick's Vampirella. Nice.
So, keep us up to date on that, Ron. Stay with us. We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Get the inside scoop on everything happening at the experience every week. Join our mailing list by scanning the QR code at the bottom of the screen and then watching your email inbox.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise of adventure, a promise of excitement, a promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey, and behind every page there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop today. Visit ComicShopLocator.com today.
Hey, we're back. Thank you, JD, for throwing that submission form up. Thank you, Ron, for reminding us. All right, so let's do a quick recap of everything we've done up to this point. So, as usual, we have the Dynamite 10-pack reader set available, 10 random titles available for $5 for all 10, 50 cents a copy. As a thank you to our viewers, we have Champions #1 Dynamic Forces exclusive variant cover by artist John Cassaday, and we have it both in the regular version and the black and white variant.
The black and white variant is sweet.
The regular version suggested retail of $29.99, and we have it for $20.16. We have multiple copies of it. Then we have Champions #1 DF exclusive black and white variant cover by John Cassaday. Suggested retail of $39.99, and we have it for $20.16. And we also have multiple versions of that as well. Then we had DC's #1, signed by Greg Capullo. Suggested retail of $49.99. Best offer book starting at $19.38. It is number 8 of 240, and we have one available. And again, it is a best offer book with no current offers on it. Then we had Silver Surfer #1, signed by Michael Allred. Suggested retail of $29.99, and we have one available for $19.66 the year the Silver Surfer first appeared. It is number 16 of 325. So a very low number if you are a collector of the limited edition numbers. Then we had Weapon H #1 variant cover signed by Greg Pak in gold. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is one of our 5-star books at $50. It is number 4 of only 21 signed in gold.
JD wants the Silver Surfer.
All right, you're going to take the Silver Surfer, JD? You got it, buddy.
Nice.
That is gone. All
I
right.
just love the way that the signature is sort of, like I said, incorporated into the board. That is just too cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Weapon H #1 variant cover signed by Greg Pak in gold. We have one available at $50, and it is number 4 of number 21, and it is signed in gold.
I'm a little surprised this is still here. This is a very good gold signature series. The price is pretty good. I'm a little bit shocked it's still here.
All right, so then we had Superman #1 signed and cover sketch of Superman by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have one available for $69.99.
Nice.
Yeah, I gush about Ken Hazer probably every single show since we started. And if you don't know why, you can see why right there.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, and finding out he was colorblind made me only more impressed. I mean, I can't even get into that. Then we had Justice League of America #1. blank variant, ultra limited edition, signed by both Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, and has a cover sketch of Superman by Ken Hazer. Creative Keep, you got it, buddy. So
the red eyes are just.
The Creative put that one up, so that one is gone. All right, and this one, a completely different look of Superman by Ken Hazer, which, I find phenomenal.
Somebody said this has like the Frank Miller sort of Dark Knight vibe.
Yeah.
And I very much agree. I think it's maybe in the hair.
Maybe the chin.
The chin for sure. But there's a scene in Dark Knight which is quintessential of their relationship, right? Bruce is kind of on his usual routine about how terrible everything is. And Clark is just there with a horse smiling. And the text even says, look at him smiling, like everything out here is just for him. And I'm like, that like summarizes the Frank Miller sort of take on the Superman-Batman relationship, which I think has informed their relationship for the last 30-ish years.
Right. No, exactly. So this one is suggested retail of $99.99. We have one available as a 5-star at $50 book. So again, I'm in awe of the man. So then next up, we did Contest of Champions #1, blank variant, signed with a Deadpool cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book, and Dwayne Zapane is in the lead at $30. Then we did Stevie B. Yogurt is our kryptonite.
Nick probably hasn't come in because he's passed out from lack of hunger.
Should we rush into the can?
Like his dinner is the size of my espresso cup. There's something not right about that. He's a grown man. He owns a business. He's entitled to
all right,
food.
Creative Keep is going to go 35 on Contest of Champions. All right,
which one? The black and white one, or
no? We just did this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Contest of Champions. My bad. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
It's going 35. I got you, Creative. You're good, buddy.
I got to ask Ken if this is supposed to be Shatterstar's sword. It's a little thing, but I keep staring at it, and I'm like, it's one of those perspective things where I can't tell if it's just shading or if it's a shadow between, you know what I mean, between two layers.
All right, so next up we had Vampirella Volume 5, number 6, Stanley, Archer, and Lau, Virgin, CGC guaranteed 9.8, suggested retail of $199.99. It is, we have one available, the rare version, for $100. Then we had Detective Comics number 1000, 1970s variant cover. CGC graded 9.8, suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available for $70. All right, and then we did Purgatory number 5, Jimmy Broxton premium metal cover. Suggested retail of $100. We have one available for $50. It is one of our 5-star for $50 books. And then we had Women of Dynamite, Vampirella statue, black and white Diamond Eye edition. It is a best offer statue. Currently, Preston is in the lead at $105, and we will cap this one at $250. So that's a good point, Dave. I just realized that the versions are not on our list. Interesting. So we'll have to see if we
do. We have all of them. We have Nick's, Red Sonja, Vampirella.
Yes.
Betty Page.
If you want, go ahead and throw one of those up there, JD. The Dynamite versions. There we go. Yeah. All right. So this is.
They're usually 50, so
50,
40,
and
right?
we usually do it 40. Correct. All right. So, very good.
Might as well run through all of them. I don't know if we.
Yeah, throw up another one.
Yeah, just you might as well, JD, just throw them up, and then we can sort of.
All right, so. Which one is it?
This episode, this is Nick's, and I love in this issue, Nick's talking to the family on what's called Thunder Island.
Do you remember the issue number?
No, I think
All
it's maybe.
All right.
Oh, I like that, man. That would be fine. Oh, this is This is Fractured States Project Superpowers. This is issue 3.
All right, and all of the Dynamite versions are just at retail of $50, and we have them available for $40 for anyone that's interested. Just throw it up there in the chats, and we'll get you down.
I think this is the one I took the logo of this one home. I love this cover. All the covers are good, but I particularly like this style of cover for them. Like the Situation Room map. If you read the book,
you just took it home, right? Put it on the list.
Oh no, it's
what?
You should have those factored in by now. It shouldn't be on a list.
I'll speak to the account.
Everything should be minus. No, after the video.
You should have what?
After they shot the promo video, and it was like, usually I wait till Wednesday to take stuff home. Like I read them on Monday, but I wait till Wednesday to take them home.
Why?
So you do the promo videos and stuff.
We have more than one.
One and one only. Everything else gets sold. Everything has to go.
All right, so you know
or be on the show next year.
While we're on Dynamite, let's do the last metal cover. Or is it the last one or the second one? That's the last one. All right, it's Red Sonja number 6.
Ooh.
Jimmy Broxton premium metal cover. Suggested retail of $100, and we have one available for $50 tonight.
Oh man, this is like some Red Sonja fans moment. Look at this metal cover. Wow.
So that is also available tonight. All right. Let's see. Okay. So just remind everybody on the best offer books because it's 7:41. So about
you got like 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, give or take.
Did we lose? Alex decided this is a terrible idea. He doesn't want to be part of this anymore.
I don't blame him. All right. So best offer books. So this Deceased number 1 signed by Greg Capullo. Suggested retail of $49.99. It is a best offer book starting at $19.38. And there are no current offers on this. So that is available to start at $19.38. It is number 8 of 240. Then we had Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight number 1, signed by James Tinian IV. It is a best offer book, and Creative Keep is in the lead at 20. Give JD a second to catch up. I think the StreamYard's eating up his pictures or something.
Yeah, he's having. I think Alan was having internet issues before.
Yeah, he mentioned.
People thought he was being terse, or I just think the picture screen froze or something.
Yeah, he mentioned something that he was having issues. So it may be something with Alex's internet connection. So hopefully it will be back before the end of the show. All right, so let's see. All right, so we got that one. Creative Keep us in the lead at 20. Then we did Contest of Champions number 1, blank variant signed with a Deadpool cover sketch by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is a best offer book, and Creative Keep is in the lead at 35. That is a great cover. And let us know what he says about the sword.
I'm going to message him as soon as the show's over.
All right. And then finally, last best offer item. And best offers will close at $7.55. Women of Dynamite, Vampirella statue, black and white Diamond Eye edition. And currently, Preston is in the lead at $105. All right, so that covers our best offer books of the night. Preston's guessing AR went out for pizza. He can just order in there. He's got endless good pizza joints around him.
He moved to where, like Allentown?
Yeah, Sam's from there. Yeah.
Allentown's got some very cool. I mean, it's kind of like right at the edge of what people call, like, in the old days, you used to have like the Philadelphia metropolitan area where they would do the news cover, the weather coverage, right? And Allentown was always at like the farthest limit.
It is at the border.
It's like right at the border. I mean, Allentown is like an hour and a half, or close
depending on
traffic, an hour. But there's some really cool places up there, like Pennsylvania's best hot dog places up there.
Muhlenberg College is it by
Muhlenberg,
there?
there's a lot of very cool stuff.
Dorney Park. I have great childhood memories of Dorney Park growing up, an amusement park located in Allentown, PA. All right, so let's do some, where's Lars Man been lately? We haven't seen him. But we have some Spider-Man books. I always try to throw some Spider-Man up there because Lars Man is such a huge fan. But here we go. So, what's this, JD? Oh my gosh.
Oh my God, no, he's doing that.
All right, so we have Superior Spider-Man number 27. Now Animal Variant, signed in gold by Jenny Parks. Suggested retail of $89.99. It is $62 for 1962, and it is number 4 of only 10 signed in gold.
Wow, I feel bad that Lars Man isn't here for this, man. This is sort of.
I know, I do too.
Well, people busy, they work, they got stuff going on. I mean, we appreciate, take a moment to just say, we appreciate everybody that joins us. We appreciate the people who join us, even on Twitter. There are people that are on Twitter and they won't leave Twitter. That's why a lot of times you'll see me. Sometimes I'm looking stuff up on my phone, but a lot of times I'm just like shouting those people out because I appreciate that. They're on Twitter and they open a window and they just sit there and watch, and they can't buy anything. Dwayne wants the Red Sonja metal cover.
Gotcha, Dwayne. You got it, buddy.
You know what I mean? Like, they can't buy anything and they can't even attribute to the chat, but yet they're still watching it. So I always like to kind of,
All right, so I have an update on Alec. Something happened with his internet, which we guess. So he's trying to work it out on his end. Hopefully he can, get it working before the show ends. But if not, we'll catch him next Wednesday, obviously. So, all right. So, Dwayne, we got you down, buddy, for the Red Sonja metal cover, Jimmy Broxton metal cover. So, great pickup there. And Superior Spider-Man number 27, now Animal Variant, signing gold by Jenny Parks. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have one available, number 4 of only 10 signing gold for $62 tonight. Creative Keep, I'm still at work on the West Coast, so I can't get to my phone most of the time and miss a lot of the show. No problem, Creative Keep. I know people have those pesky job things.
I remember that. That was awful.
Shut up.
I'm never doing that again.
This is why people don't like you, John. This is why your neighbor hates you and you likes your wife.
I don't even know if it's a top 10 reason why people hate me. I've given tons of reasons to neighbors to hate me over the years.
So next week, we'll have the top 10 list of why people hate John. Hey, maybe we'll run a contest on that. Top 5 reasons.
I had, this was a few years back, I had the Asbury Park Assassins play at a pool party for a friend of mine. And they called the police. My friend is like one of the senior investigators in the state attorney's office. So when they knocked on the door to tell him to keep it down, walked right outside, grabbed his badge, walked right around the other way. They were like, "Oh, thanks, Inspector. Happy birthday. Have a great night." And walked away. And they played on my pool deck till about 20 after 2 in the morning. And my neighbors hated me no matter what I did after that. Like, I would feed people for free. I'd be like, "Hey, look, you want to come over and get something to eat? Come on over." No.
So Josh Wentz says, "I'm still at work, but it's work from home." Shush. Josh, maybe you should change your screen name.
What is it? Oh, yeah, right?
So nobody else knows.
Josh went to the unemployment line because he was...
come up with something cool or whatever you like. All right, so where are we at here? JD, the police, Sting, and Stuart Copeland showed up. Billy Joel, we only work with the best here at the Experience, guys. Come on. All right, so this is actually the last book of the night, believe it or not. We have Symbiote Spider-Man, Alien Reality, #1, Elite Gold Signature Series, signed by Greg Land. It is number 3 of only 15 signed in gold. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have this Spider-Man book also available for $62 for 1962. And to celebrate Spider-Man's 60th anniversary this week. So that is also available to any Spider-Man fans out there. And I love this cover as well. Hobgoblin, it's so, I love covers where there's a lot of action going on. JD, or Alec, you're back.
Well, hello there.
You finally got it working. What happened?
I don't know. It just kicked out.
Everybody was guessing you went out for pizza. I go, why? You can order it.
I'm pretty hungry. I would love to get some pizza, but I don't think that's going to happen tonight. Maybe tomorrow.
Sorry.
Maybe tomorrow.
Delivery. You're not in Oklahoma anymore. You're in Allentown. They can deliver it.
No, I got a lot of food to cook still.
Well, then you should text John after the show.
Dox myself, luckily.
Luckily, no one I work with likes comics.
I would never curse AR's internet, man.
It's already cursed.
Do more stuff.
Yeah, he'll actually have to do stuff. Are you kidding me? John doesn't even like to put on shoes to go out and meet friends at the coffee
I get
shop.
my comics on Monday, so I just come over here to help Rex out.
And see if he missed anything.
So I forgot which one call it. I forgot next.
What'd you forget?
I forgot next on Monday. I had to come back and get it.
Yeah, that's a good point, JD. I hadn't even really thought of that. You know, the delivery price is going to end up going up.
DoorDash was like...
Dwayne's a pain. We got pizza delivery in Oklahoma like 3 years ago. Oh, my gosh. I always forget Dwayne's out there. So whenever I make jokes about Alec moving from Oklahoma back here, I always forget Dwayne's a pain. My apologies.
You know what? The truth is, when I talk to people online from like remote parts of the country, I'm always wowed by, oh yeah, it only takes me an hour to get to the supermarket, and I'm like, excuse me?
That's wild.
Yeah, a whole different state in an hour. Pass through 42 towns in an hour. Are you kidding me?
See, I'm in Maryland in an hour.
All right, we got 5 minutes left on the best offer, so I'm gonna throw those out there one more time. Yeah. All right. So Deceased #1, signed by Greg Capullo. Suggested retail of $49.99. It is one of our best offer books, starting at $19.38. Get to the end of the show. Nobody has thrown a claim up, so that might be a real steal for whoever wants it. Then we had Batman Who Laughs, Grim Knight #1, signed by James Tinian IV. Suggested retail of $69.99. Creative Keep is in the lead at $20. Preston, I didn't know that. So look at that. I got you beat, John. I could insult wholesale bunches of people without even knowing. Well, because I'm around you too much.
Stop insulting people. I never have a crossword.
Yeah, right. I need to talk to your neighbor. So then we had Contest of Champions #1, blank variant, signed with a Deadpool cover sketch by Ken Hazer. It is a best offer book. And suggested retail of $89.99. Creative Keep is in the lead at $35. And then our best offer statue of the night is Women of Dynamite, Vampirella statue, black and white Diamond Eye edition. Suggested retail of $299.99. It is a best offer statue, and Preston is in the lead at $105. And we will cap that one at $250. So there you go. And keep in mind the lag time. There is a lag time. So try not to wait until the last second to throw it up there. When we reach 7:55, JD will throw up the end line. And whoever has the highest claim at that point will walk away with the best offer items. Should we do a full recap, you think? Or
I don't think we have time. No, I'm serious. I don't think we have time. How many books do we have left?
Watch.
How many books do we have left?
All right. Dynamite 10-pack, don't throw it up, JD. We're going to bypass that one. All right, so Champions #1.
So is everybody else.
Not JD, he picked up a set. Champions #1, DF exclusive variant cover by John Cassaday. We have both the regular cover and we have the black and white variant. They are both available for $20.16 each. I might Creative Keep. Go ahead and email me if you don't mind, because that's the best way for me to remember. So, and we have multiple copies of Champions #1, both versions. So if anybody's interested, let us know. $20.16 tonight. Let's see. Then we had Deceased #1. Oh, that was the best offer. I just did that. Sorry. So then we had Weapon H #1 variant cover signed by Greg Pak in gold. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have it as a 5-star $50 book, and it is #4 of 20. Only 21 signed in gold.
Hold on one second, JD. Can you throw up the Contest of Champions thing again?
Okay.
Ken, I just texted Ken right now. He got back to me. The story here, if you see, is Kirby Crackle or Kirby dots on the right-hand side of the screen. This is essentially Magneto using his magnetic powers to kill Deadpool with his own sword.
All right. Creative, I got you down for the 20.
I thought that was very cool. So I forget who picked this book up, but
for Deceased, it is best offer, I think. So currently, let's see, it is currently Creative is in the lead at 35. All right. So okay, got you on the Deceased, my friend. Did I do Weapon H? I did, right? All right, then Superior Spider-Man #27. Now Animal variant, signed in gold by Jenny Parks. Suggested retail of $89.99, number 4 of 10 signed in gold, and we have it for $62 tonight. All right, so best offers are closed, just so everybody knows. And then we had Symbiote Spider-Man Alien Reality number 1, Elite Gold Signature Series, signed by Greg Land. Suggested retail of $89.99. We have number 3 of only 15 signed in gold for $62 tonight. So then we had Justice League of America number 1, blank variant, ultra limited edition, signed by both Steve Orlando and Ken Hazer, and with a cover sketch of Superman by Ken Hazer. Suggested retail of $99.99, and we have it as one of our 5-star for $50 books. And then we had Vampirella Volume 5, number 6, Stanley Art Germ Lau, Virgin CGC graded 9.8. Suggested retail of $199.99. We have one available for $100. Then we had Detective Comics number 1000, 1970s variant, cover CGC graded 9.8, and we have one available for $70. Then we had Purgatory number 5, Jimmy Broxton, premium metal cover, suggested retail of $100. We have one available for $50. And that's it. See, I told you we had enough time.
Yeah, but now the show's over and people are asleep.
They are not. And the Dynamite Virgin covers.
Nick is passed out from lack of food.
That's what happens when you eat yogurt for dinner. So we have the Dynamite Virgin covers, suggested retail of $50, and we have those available for $40. Thank you, JD, for
Thanks,
flashing
JD. I really like the one. The whole, you have to kind of read Fractured States, but the fact that they have like a situation room map as a cover.
Right.
And the map, it changes. If you watch from cover to cover, it changes a little bit as the stories, things get progressively worse.
As always, I want to thank all of our viewers. We appreciate you spending the evening with us. We have a great time here, and that's because of you guys. So thank you for
Alec
tuning
for joining us.
Again, yeah.
I'm going to thank Alec. I always thank Alec.
I
want to thank Alec.
You buried him on the show. He never gets to talk.
All right. So John is going to poof next show because I'm going to actually break the bank and spend the CG budget on it. Thank you, Alec, as always, for joining us on Wednesday.
Thank you for having me.
Dude, you can distract me with like a sandwich. You
John,
don't need a CGI
John,
budget.
Yeah, I'll throw it out the door. John, thank you for making that 3.5-minute drive from your house
After
every week.
17 years, I'm glad you continue to keep carrying Dynamite on my back.
And pick up all your free books, which is we know the primary
Shoot the
reason.
CGI John, that's funny.
Oh, that would be cool.
I don't know who got this book, but I thought that was a very cool story from Ken. Ken, thank you.
creative.
Ken, thank you very much for,
Yes,
I'm sure
thank
he's
you,
busy.
Ken. If
thanks
you
for
are
weighing in.
watching, otherwise John will,
No, I
text you
texted him and told him
incessantly.
somebody picked it up, and we just wanted to know the story behind it. He actually said he thought my idea of it being Shatterstar's sword was. He's like, I gotta remember that for the future. That was a cool
Should have
sword.
just said, yeah, that's what I meant to do.
Well, the whatchamacallit, the kind of Kirby Crackle gives it away a little bit that someone is using their powers, and that's totally a Magneto thing. Deadpool doesn't shut up.
So I want to thank everybody. Is anything coming up? I should really look at these things before the show.
Nice, Stevie B. That's nice. I see what you did there.
Let me see. Is there anything coming up tonight? JD, is there anything coming up after us tonight or no?
Yes, we've got Wednesday Warriors coming up tonight at 9. It is a rebroadcast of an episode. They couldn't do a live one, so they're rerunning an older show. But if it's you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Great, fantastic. And thank you to JD for handling things behind the scenes and coming up with those.
Congratulations to everybody that got books.
And congratulations to everybody that got books. And thank you to JD. And we appreciate you, JD, for very, very humorous commercials.
Oh, man, yeah. You and Kyle just do a great job.
Yeah, that's awesome.
People love those commercials.
So keep in mind, on Friday, we have Nick with original art from 7 to 8 Eastern, and as always, I'll have something interesting and rare and a story behind it.
I always love the stories behind the stuff.
So yeah, definitely be sure to join Nick on Friday, 7 to 8 Eastern. All right. So thanks everybody. Have a great rest of your week.
Enjoy your new comic book day, everybody.
We'll see you Monday.
Join the party. Head over to our Linktree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.